After more than 100 people fell sick with carbon monoxide exposure last night and were taken to the hospital, we're now talking about the importance of having a working carbon monoxide detector. Right now, we're joined by Deputy Fire Commissioner Ronald Barrett and Dr. Joe Bart with the Buffalo Fire Department. Thank you both so much for coming in this afternoon.
Our pleasure.
So before we talk about the importance of having a working detector, let's talk about some sources, right? What are, say in the common household, what are some common things that may lead to carbon monoxide buildup?
Well, anything basically with a fossil fuel involved. So you've got, anything with natural gas, gasoline, propane, even charcoal, stuff like that. So your stoves, your furnaces, even your outdoor grills, if they're too close to the home, could provide a source. Your vehicle running is another, if it's attached garage kind of an incident kind of thing. Just be aware of anything again, it's a burning process is going to produce carbon monoxide.
We've heard carbon monoxide described as a silent killer, right? Is there an odor? Is there a color to it? Anything like that?
No, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, you can't see it. It's basically something that without a detector, it's very hard to detect. There are some clues if you don't have a detector. There's a buildup of condensation on your windows. There's a sign of poor ventilation. If your gas flames are more orange or red than they are blue, they should be a bright blue. That's another indication that you could have a carbon monoxide problem with that. It tends to affect animals before humans. So if your pets are looking a little weird, that could be another sign. Those are the main things. And obviously, if you're feeling flu-like symptoms or something is another indication.
So let's elaborate on some of the symptoms if you are exposed to carbon monoxide, especially after longer periods of time.
So that's a bit of the challenge, Jordan, is that many times it looks like flu-like illness. And we're at that time of year where you expect flu-like illness would be normal. Some of the differentiators are, I think the Deputy Commissioner mentioned, this is one of those things where flu you don't share with your pets. Carbon monoxide you do. So if everybody, including the bird, the cat, the dog, is also lethargic in your house, that could be one indication of this. But in general, we're talking about headache, nausea, vomiting, general just feeling of unwell are some of your starter symptoms.
And what does treatment look like? Say that the levels are very high. What would some of the treatment look like?
So they could be twofold, because when the levels are kind of low, and the exposure is a long time, you could have symptoms build up to that. So you could have very low levels of carbon monoxide on a kind of a slow leak, but you're exposed to that for 12 or 24 hours. Some of the symptoms may seem mild, but over the long term, they could be problematic. Versus if they're very high levels, the symptoms could be a quick onset. Generally, we want to say get to a safe condition first, so we want to get outside of where the exposure is. Just fresh air is going to start the process to be able to get the carbon monoxide out of the blood. After that, just being placed on a non-rebreather mask with a high-flow oxygen is going to be our next step.
What level of carbon monoxide exposure is that when it starts to become alarming?
So greater than 100 is going to trip most alarms. Once we hit greater than 400 parts per million, generally people will become symptomatic. If we double that, it becomes more problematic as we double it. So we go from 400 to 800, even to 1200. Symptoms are going to develop within a couple of minutes when they're that high.
So now let's talk about carbon monoxide detectors, the importance of having one, why they're just as important as having a smoke detector. Art?
Sure. Obviously in the home, anywhere, because it mimics the flu, you want to have them obviously outside your bedroom, because people, when they get sick, they either go to bed or they lay on the couch. It's always a good idea to have one near the living room for that reason as well. A lot of people overlook that, but it's also important to have one on the first floor because, again, some people that's where they hide out when they have the flu. When you want to look at your manufacturer date on the back, most detectors, smoke or carbon monoxide, are good for about 7 years. Just flip your detector over. It should have a manufacturer date on the bottom. If it's 2017 or older, get rid of it, buy a new one. It's not worth your lives of yourself or your family just to save a few dollars. Again, location, mostly you want to put one in the basement as well, because if you have a problem with your furnace, you want to detect that early. You don't want to wait till to seep up and activate your upper level detectors as well.
Well, this certainly is a very important conversation to have, a life-saving one, be it at that. Thank you both so much for coming in and sharing your insight with us.
You're welcome. No problem.
All right, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Todd Santos now for another check of the forecast. We're dealing with some fog outside, Todd, for some areas.
Yep, just